Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. What if I told you that the NFC East might just be on the verge of a seismic shift? That the balance of power in this division, which has historically been a battleground of fierce rivalries and unpredictable twists, could be tipped dramatically in favor of the Washington Commanders. Yes, I know it sounds like something out of a fantasy, but recent whispers, rumors, and insiders pointing towards a blockbuster trade that could redefine the division. And no, I'm not just talking about any regular trade. We're talking about a move that involves one of the biggest names in the league right now. CeeDee Lamb, the Dallas Cowboys All-Pro wide receiver, heading straight to the Commanders. Think about it. The Cowboys, currently standing at 3-3-1, are in a bit of a mediocrity rut, trying to rebuild their NFC East dominance, but with some glaring issues, especially along their offensive line, which has been allowing almost 3 sacks per game. Meanwhile, the Commanders, sitting at 3-4, are desperately looking for that spark, that aerial upgrade to elevate their passing game from the 24th in yards per game to something more respectable. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. CeeDee Lamb, a 26-year-old dynamo out of Oklahoma, a player who's been redefining what a modern receiver can do, might be on the move. And trust me, folks, this isn't just speculation. There are whispers, leaks, and reports from credible insiders like Adam Schefter suggesting that this deal could be in the works. The rumors indicate that Dallas might be willing to part ways with Lamb in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026, and perhaps even a cornerback, Benjamin St-Juste, who's been showing flashes of promise this season. Now, you might wonder, why would Dallas do this? Well, the Cowboys are in a bit of cap trouble, with only around $15 million in space, and they're prioritizing fixing their offensive line after a season where their pass blocking has been less than stellar, ranking 31st according to PFF with just 4% of pass blocking wins. Plus, with Dak Prescott's recent resurgence, sporting a solid 92. One passer rating, they might see this as a strategic move to bolster their defense and rebuild for the future. But let's talk about Lamb. This guy is a game changer. In just 4 games this season, he's already caught 21 passes for 332 yards on 32 targets, averaging 8 yards per catch, with a long of 74 yards and a touchdown. If he keeps up this pace, projections suggest he could finish the season with over 300 yards and a PFF receiving grade that places him comfortably in the top 10 of the league. His career stats are equally impressive. Nearly 400 receptions for over 400 yards and 41 touchdowns in just 62 games. What makes Lamb so special? It's his ability to create separation, his route running, his YAC, yards after catch, averaging just over 5 yards per reception, and his contested catch success rate, which is over 55%. And let's not forget, he's coming off a shoulder scope in 2024 that caused him to miss some time, but he's fully healthy now, and at 200 pounds, he's exactly the kind of player that new quarterback Sam Howell, who's been showing flashes of promise himself, could really thrive with. Now imagine the impact of Lamb on the Commanders' offense. Right now, their passing game is struggling, hampered by injuries to key players like Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and Dax Milne. They've been searching for that reliable, explosive weapon that can stretch the field and help them convert in critical situations. Lamb's addition could do just that. His ability to line up in the slot, where he spends about 42% of his snaps, means he can exploit mismatches against defenses that are often forced to double-team other targets. His presence would open up opportunities for guys like Damie Brown, who has shown potential but hasn't quite had the consistent opportunity to shine. With Lamb on the roster, Daniels could see a significant boost in efficiency, with expected increases of 25% in EPA per pass and yards per game jumping from 198.7 to around 245. That's a massive upgrade, one that could turn the Commanders' offense into a more potent, high-powered unit, especially in the red zone. And let's not forget the strategic advantage Lamb would bring in the red zone. Currently, the Commanders are scoring around 1.8 touchdowns per game from inside the 20-yard line, ranking about 20th in the league. Adding a receiver of Lamb's caliber, with his ability to make contested catches and his knack for finding the end zone, could push that number to over 2.5 touchdowns per game, elevating their red zone efficiency and giving Howell and the offensive line a much-needed boost. Speaking of the line, by acquiring Lamb and improving their passing game, the Commanders could also see their sack rate decrease, potentially having their current 2.9% rate down to around 2.2%. This means less pressure on Howell, more time to throw, and more explosive plays downfield. Now the ripple effect of this move isn't just on the offense. The Commanders' chances of making a deep playoff run would skyrocket. The betting odds already reflect this, with the Super Bowl futures shifting from +500 to +2, 800 once the rumors gain traction. Lamb could be the true X-factor in their postseason push, averaging over 9 targets per game in must-win situations, and consistently creating big plays against man coverage. His ability to stretch the field, he's already been responsible for 2 40-plus-yard receptions this season, would make the Commanders' offense more unpredictable and dangerous. This move could also serve as a symbol of the team's aggressive mindset, signaling that they're willing to make bold moves for a shot at Lombardi glory. Of course, the Cowboys are facing a tough decision. Moving Lamb would be a blow, no doubt, but sometimes in the NFL, a strategic rebuild or a cap reset is necessary. This trade could be reminiscent of recent big deals, like the Diggs trade from a couple of seasons ago, which helped reshape the Bills' secondary. For Dallas, it might be about acquiring assets to rebuild along the offensive line and defense, especially with their secondary allowing over 240 yards per game, which ranks 22nd in the league. Benjamin St-Juste, a promising cornerback with 52 tackles and a strong 1-1 passer rating allowed, could be part of the package, giving the Cowboys a younger, cost-controlled player to develop while they focus on fixing their trenches. But for the Washington Commanders, this is a golden opportunity. The addition of Lamb could be the catalyst they need to elevate their entire aerial attack, especially after a season where they've struggled to establish consistency and explosive plays. With Howell developing and the team's offensive scheme centered around quick, efficient passes, Lamb's speed and route-running ability could unlock new dimensions in their offense. The team's red zone efficiency would improve, their third-down conversion rates could see a boost, and most importantly, they'd have a genuine threat that defenses need to game plan around. It's a move that could accelerate their journey toward a playoff spot, and who knows, maybe even a Super Bowl appearance. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster move? Do you think Lamb would be the perfect fit for this team? Or do you believe the cost is too high? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters a lot to us and to the future of this franchise. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more rumors, and more deep dives into everything Washington Commanders. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the faith that brighter days are ahead for our beloved team. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is just the beginning of what could be the most exciting chapter in Commanders history.